says, well, I'm happy to see her on the bench.
The super oppressive poke champions lose their luster really quickly. The first couple of games, you're like, wow, that was really cool. He shot that guy and just got rid of his whole health bar in 2 hits. But then after the 3rd or 4th game, you're like, man, these rockets are kind of BS, huh?
Yeah.
And it just loses.
Get in there and make it with your own hands. Let's see. Ryze
make it with your own shiny blue magic, and Ryze is locked in to do just that.
All right. Do we get another Viego as well? Ryze, remember, very flexible. Can roam to side lanes later on. Can catch waves. Has really, really good responses to most mid lane champions. So not worried about being blind picked.
We get Zeri again. Zeri consistently avoiding bans and consistently finding herself picked. She was permabanned for so long, and now the nerfs have taken her down to that tier where it might not be worth the ban, but it still feels really good to pick.
The training weights are off as well. Honestly, yeah, she might be in for another little round of nerfs.
Like I say, another little round of nerfs. When we checked what the nerfs were, they nerfed everything in the kit. It's just like that. Get rid of all of it. Get rid of all of it. You know,
meanwhile, though, we're going to have another similar matchup. The Jinx versus the Zeri again.
Whoa, it's Powder from my...
Oh, my God, Powder? No way. All right, what do we got here? Support pickup, jungle pickup. Either support or jungle should probably be priority. You can match FlyQuest jungle here. They've already got the Viego.
Yeah.
So you probably want something a little bit more early oriented if you wanted to pick that up. Pridestalker is going to take a couple more bans if you don't lock it in here. And they blind both solos in preference of actually saving jungle support until 4 or 5. I hope they've got something spicy, Flower.
Yeah, this is very abnormal. Seeing both solo laners picked in the first half of the draft is incredibly unusual. Let's see how FlyQuest want to respond here. The Irelia is a really good pick into the Gnar. I love seeing that.
This is why it's so unusual to blind both solo laners without protection bans from blue side here. Wow, Anero's really throwing him through the loop here. The Irelia counter pick into Gnar has lots of kill threat on mini Gnar post level 6. So definitely look for Viego Irelia combinations. One thing though for Licorice, he can invest into really early armor. Definitely expect a rush for the steel caps because there is all AD so far on FlyQuest, and top jungle will for sure be AD threats. So you assume that maybe some mid lane bans at possible AP champions for toucouille would be what comes through, but you can also still flex Irelia into mid lane if you wanted to try and flex it into Ryze, which would not be smart. Keep it in the top lane there versus the Gnar where it has the kill threat.
And just like you were talking about earlier, saying, hey, Pridestalker's going to get hit with some more bans. Sure enough, on top of those 3 jungle bans in the first half of the draft, both of FlyQuest's second half bans will be junglers as well. Diana and Nocturne taken off the table, whereas Golden Guardians are looking more towards the bottom lane, that support role. They'll ban out Renata Glass, and then Victor gets a ban to finish out that ban phase. FlyQuest, what's it gonna be here? Who are we saving last pick for? We can still pick a mid
now
laner.
For sure. Pick mid now for sure. There's zero reason to save mid. Definitely do it now. Get toucouille some big AP threat. He's gonna be solo AP threat here into the Ryze. Now, personally, the Syndra has been used a lot into the Ryze, trying to bully early on with the extra range. Go for Q spams early. Corrupting Potion as well has been pretty popular. See if you can set up some stuns for the Viego early on. It definitely is heavily swayed by jungle pressure, though.
Yeah, 2 immobile mages, junglers are going to decide a lot.
If you use your Scatter of the Week on the Ryze to try and set something up, then you are defenseless as the Syndra, and something like a Xin Zhao can definitely quickly punish.
Yep, Xin Zhao, incredible early game potential, very good at ganking, and of course quite a sponge in a team fight as well thanks to the ultimate. So it'll be Xin Zhao and then the Nautilus locked in for Olleh there. So Jinx, Nautilus bottom lane going up against Zeri, and whatever FlyQuest decides to pick as their number 5, saving Aphromoo support to the very end.
Aphromoo,
is it time for a little bit more cowbell? Let's go.
The moo, let's go. All right, I'm betting that he picks the Pajama Party Alistar because that is, to my recollection, the most common Aphromoo.
What are you going to do? Are you going to bet that the sky is blue next? Everybody plays Pajama Party.
Oh, you want to bet? I'll bet you.
What are we going to bet?
I'll just go get one of those habaneros from Raz.
Are we betting that he is playing Pajama? Because
I'm betting that he is playing Pajama.
Well, I'm not going to take the other thing because I also think he's playing Pajama.
Okay.
I think everybody plays Pajama. Okay, well, now that we're on the same page, we can continue.
Raz can keep his peppers then.
Yeah,
I hope you're hungry, by the way, Raz.
Have a good time. It'll be great. All right, we got done talking about spicy peppers, so Kobe, transition that into spicy plays. Where's it going to break out early? What do we want to see?
I want to see some level 1s then, baby.
Okay.
Because we've got the CC to make it happen, and Core JJ, the heart of the LCS, let's say, has been tweeting about it a lot recently too. He's like, get in there, run straight down, level 1, get a kill on the enemy Inter. You can determine.
I saw the tweet. Yeah, he's like, kill the Inter.
Oh, running right down, and there you go. Good thing you didn't bet, because I know Aphromoo, and I know he's always gonna play the pajama skin.
We should have done? We should have bet on the chroma.
Oh.
That's what we should have done.
Yeah, except then we would both be losers probably, because there's a lot of chromas, and it's possible that we're both wrong.
You saying you're afraid? You ain't got confidence?
I
mean,
no.
Just a spicy pepper?
Never.
Just a spicy pepper. I mean, if Golden Guardians win here, Raz is going to be eating one anyway.
We should have bet chat. We should have been like, all right, production, quick, put up a poll. See if we can bet chat. If we could bait any of the chat into betting against Aphromoo with the
But how are they going to eat the pepper?
Damn, my plans.
We can't just deliver peppers.
True. It's an honor system.
You're just trusting chat to go out and buy a hot pepper and eat it?
Twitch chat, are you honorable? You swear you're all honorable, right? Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, they're totally.
They would never lie to us. To us?
Yeah, honorable Twitch chat. Feels good, man. All right, well, Golden Guardians, they're going to go ahead and throw down a ward here nice and early, but a good clear. Nicely done from Johnsun there.
Yep.
Q auto Q.
Exactly. You can always get the wards if they're placed in front of you with Zeri. Well done, Q auto Q. Let's see what they can continue on this bottom side, though. No very deep information gained early on, so nothing really coming out of the level 1. Everybody going into defensive maneuvers and lots of defensive wards as well for FlyQuest to make sure of it.
Both of our junglers starting up on the top side here. You can see that JoseDeodo will not be going for the Krugs, just going red into the chickens and then making his way towards the bottom half. So he will be in the bottom side jungle before his opponent is. Pridestalker clearing through all of those camps as AblazeOlive loses out in the early trades against toucouille Syndra here in mid lane. Back when we saw the Syndra locked in Champion Select, for those of y'all who are paying attention to the numbers, 38% win rate right now, so not a particularly powerful pick in LCS gameplay here in spring, but toucouille has been one of the strongest mid laners so far in this split, so I'm excited to see what he can do with it as Aphromoo just gets locked down here, takes a lot of damage in the 2v2.
Level 1 Alistar has possibly the least amount of threat of a support, and so you're just kind of standing there in lane, and he takes a huge chunk of damage. So well done by Golden Guardians bottom lane. This Golden Guardians bottom lane has actually done quite well in lane phase, at least, especially Olleh. And he has created so many plays to get lost a lot of money, so he can try and transition later on into the game for this team. Their problem has been later on.
Yes.
Finishing out those games and dealing damage with that money that they earn early on. So we'll keep our sights on it. Olleh himself, though, the playmaker from the bottom lane, moves up. He slipped into the river. Brush does not land the Q, though, and it should be easy pickings there on the Scuttle Crab for Jose. Yeah,
JoseDeodo can secure that crab, no problem whatsoever.
Hey, this or that, I'm on that.
Yeah, I used to be on that.
You were. This guy right here used to be on that.
There's our subliminal synergy again, as JoseDeodo sticks around mid lane long enough to leech a little bit of EXP, hit level 4, and he will get to double crab this game. Yes, the EXP isn't nearly what it used to be, but that's a ton of gold in your pocket.
True, true, true. And you can just continue right up to the Krubs as well.
Yep.
Early first clear, you've got plenty of time to work with as a jungler, so very nice start here for Jose. And remember, the Irelia Gnar matchup here yes, you know, Kumo can threaten early on, can push onto Licorice, but the real danger comes at level 6.
Right.
And trying to play off a mini Gnar timing.
The extra lockdown of the ulti, the powerful slow, combined with the burst damage means that Irelia has serious kill threat on Gnar at that point. Lands the stun there, but with bone plating proccing, he's not going to get a whole lot else after the fact. Waits for it to fall off, gets a couple of autos.
La la.
But Pridestalker's coming up here to see if maybe anything can be done. Throws a control ward there into the brush. Sees that he's not spotted, but also sees that Kumo's not really going to give him the angle anytime soon. So Pridestalker, right back to farming as well. He went back, he shopped, he's got a longsword and a ruby crystal. JoseDeodo still has not gone to purchase.
They need red vision up here. You can tell there's a really difficult scenario for Irelia because you have to get this wave pushed in, but you can't step up until you call your jungler. So good communication here. You know, as soon as they have kind of the missed timing there for Zhao, Pridestalker, you know, thought maybe there's a ward in here, but really he was just reacting to Gnar return damage and the timing possibility there. So well played by Kumo, not to fall victim in one of the precarious positions where Irelia can get punished early on when you're trying to push your waves in like that. And he's able to wait for jungle. So Jose comes over, gives him the confidence to bounce.
Yeah, and Jose's pathing lended itself perfectly towards this, right? Because he's able to reset now. He gets that first buy. He's got the Sheen, he's got the longsword, and he's right back onto the map as his south side camps are respawning. Pridestalker will now be walking over a ward here in the bottom river pixel brush, so they're going to know where he's at. Golden Guardian's jungler spotted out means that people on FlyQuest in the nearby area, namely toucouille, got to be a little bit more careful. Kumo jumping in on Licorice here top lane, grabbing a bit more damage yet again, just trying to always put the fear of God in poor little Miniar.
Very interesting too that Pridestalker did not switch to a sweeper on first back. He kept his trinket ward and intentionally put the extra deep defensive vision with his extra trinket ward that he kept over. So he wasn't able to sweep out the one he walked over, but does get the early side on Jose. It does get swept out, and eventually they're going to be able to retake river control here though. The early alert does let Olleh move up with them first.
Oh, but that means Aphromoo and Johnsun are going in for the 2v1 against Lost. He'll lose half his HP already. The flash and heal both used to get him away. Olleh looking to group back up here with his AD carry in bottom lane, going back in for the 2v2, but another one's happening here in the river over the Scuttle Crab. toucouille's going to be focused, tries to flash and stay alive, but he can't do it. It's first blood over to Pridestalker, and JoseDeodo's going to be next. Olleh dies in the 2v2 down in bottom lane, making a 1-for-1 across the board.
Golden Guardians win the topside river skirmish, but FlyQuest win the bottom skirmish here as Olleh steps up. When there are two separate fights like that going on, the comms on both sides are incredibly hectic because you're trying to coordinate with the other person in your skirmish, in your 2v2, while also trying to alert the bottom side that you're not actually completing on that rotation down to them. So you could tell the lines got a little crossed there. But here is that stun that interrupted the Realm Warp. That would have been bottom side dead for FlyQuest. That Realm Warp going through would have meant they make the transition. But because they interrupt it, then FlyQuest trying to chase here and make sure they don't fully collapse on bottom side leads to this situation where Olleh has now overchased because the FlyQuest and the River members forced the fight on Pridestalker, and toucouille goes down in payment for that. So ends up being the 1-for-1. I would say it's more brutal for mid lane to die there, for toucouille to go down, than for Olleh himself, because Lost still got to finish up on the minions there, whereas toucouille here now has no flash as a Syndra, and there are roam timers for the supports.
Yeah,
both of those supports can make very big plays.
Nautilus and Alistar, so scary for the setup potential. And speaking of setting it up, Kumo's got the ulti, forcing the flash out of Licorice to disengage there. Without that flash, he's 100% dead. But Golden Guardians are bringing in the backup now, too. No Irelia ult available for the team fight. toucouille trying to summon up a couple of orbs to be ready here for the Unleashed power. As AblazeOlive tries to get away, Johnsun's coming around from the side, and they found the enemy mid. AblazeOlive is down. Kumo's gonna try to survive the wrath of Pridestalker and Licorice. He'll get himself away. They've already secured the Herald, and Johnsun ain't done. The Zeri attacks just continue piling forward. Licorice gets away in time, but that's 1 kill plus the objective over to FlyQuest.
So good from FlyQuest. They go for the all-in on Licorice right before the fight. So Kumo knows, all I have to do, hit my ultimate. If that hits with the slow, you can follow up with the stun and force the flash out of Licorice. So then, Golden Guardians are sitting with a mini Gnar with no flash. So it's very dangerous for Licorice, and he's trying to charge up his rage, but the rest of FlyQuest here can easily collapse on the other 3 members. Aphromoo starts it out, and Kumo able to save his W till later to buy the time, so they get the kill, they get the objective afterwards, and they get to reset first.
Feels good. The wave crashing into the top lane as well means that some farm is going to be lost. Lost himself will move over to pick the rest of that up. He'll get most of it, but one of those caster minions unfortunately drops to the turret. Down here in bottom lane, Kumo with 75 CS, 66 for Licorice. Licorice, as you properly predicted, goes for the steel caps as a rush, has to make sure that he's able to get away from that Irelia when she jumps on him, has the Executioner's calling as well to try to stop some of the healing that Kumo is able to do, but Kumo is rushing straight for the Blade of the Ruined King, which will make his all-ins that much more deadly. FlyQuest onto the first Drake of the game here, just about 10 minutes in. There will be no contest from the Golden Guardians. Infernal is the first Drake, Hextech is going to be the second, and Licorice might just be the target next. Johnsun firing that nice little laser through the wall. Aphromoo goes for the headbutt pulverize, but he will not get the pulverized part as a nice disengage thanks to the Gnar ult. He keeps Licorice alive.
Dude, I was living in the past there. I see this deep ward. That would have been perfect if there was unleashed teleports, but we're pre-14 here, so it's just going to be bottom side plays, zoning off Licorice.
Licorice psyched him out there. JoseDeodo threw out that stun, but he did not find the mark, aiming it a little bit to the right, as the turret will lose that second plate. Remember, they still have the Herald here too. If they can do another plate's worth of damage to this turret, you can summon up the Herald and knock down those last 2, because you want to do something. When Jinx is left to just free farm plates off of the top lane turret, there's got to be a response elsewhere.
Yeah, and I give advantage to the team that does have Rift Herald, because that push has to be responded to. If the team with the Rift Herald can threaten on 2 turret taking pushes for themselves, and the secondary turret has 800 gold in it, a huge, huge reward. So you always have the upper hand as the team with the Rift Herald in pocket if you can actually get up and hit the turret. But both teams stick to the defense, and so we call off both plays on each side, not forcing it forward.
Turrets properly defended. Little bit of plate money going both ways here, but it is still just about that 1 kill lead that FlyQuest has. That's the only gold value in terms of their advantage. So things overall staying very, very close here between these two.
We are going to get another Zeri with another early Trinity Force, though. The kills going on to Johnsun, plus the extra plate money there means first spike in the game, super, super strong right now. Considering the field of everybody else, as long as he does not get, you know, like flashed on by a Blaze or something like that, Rune Prison, he's going to wreak havoc here. So FlyQuest have a very, very strong top side as they rotate Zeri up to top side to try and push there, and they're bringing their Rift Herald with him. Early swap here from FlyQuest should put them ahead in the turret-taking race.
Oh, Licorice going for the Krugs there. He gets the little ones, but the big one is going to reset. Not a big deal because he's just buying time for that wave to crash anyway, and he can farm it up safely. Herald summoned up mid. JoseDeodo just saying, all right, let's use this. Let's get the money. We're running out of time anyway. We can guarantee some damage on mid lane, which is a very valuable turret to take down and often one of the more difficult ones. So they'll get 3 plates there, and then they decide it's time to bail, or do they? Aphromoo leading the charge, and now they're going in. Focus down onto AblazeOlive, but he's not going to die just yet. He will manage to disengage. Golden Guardians looking for their chance. Licorice has the Gnar bar. He's ready. Oh, no!
Barrel roll! Do a barrel roll into the wall!
No!
Somersault.
Licorice really wanted to be able to jump that wall and find the Mega Gnar backwards, but it's not in the cards.
It was double teleport. Ooh, from Golden Guardians. Good stopwatch here. Early stopwatch buys an extra life.
Yep. AblazeOlive getting away with that one was a bit scary, but stopwatch is very, very easy to use to properly immune the damage from Syndra's ulti. You can see as the orbs start flying, it's pretty hard to not immune it, so AblazeOlive gets away from that one, but hey, no stopwatch now.
Yep. All right. Now, moving forward on the split push, let's see. The Rift Herald being used mid did soften this one up. It's really low. Bottom side as well for Golden Guardians. There's like one more hit on this turret plate left. There's only about 20 seconds left to get it though, so that one will not be collected by FlyQuest. Currently sitting at the Dragon lead and the 500 gold lead. Johnsun does get up to this turret though, and with that Trinity Force, melts off another 2 turret plates in time.
Oh, there we go. Just barely getting that last one before Olleh makes his way up here. He can't get the range or the angle for the dredge line. Pridestalker's gonna grab his own blue, or is he? FlyQuest moving in with Aphromoo leading the charge yet again. I love Aphromoo on playmakers. I love him on engage champions. This is the dude who can make the moments happen that can break the game open. Hallowed Mist coming out, but Viego's not even bothering to go top. He's just sending out the spooky air, and Aphromoo's the one actually marching up there. Kumo putting the damage into this bottom lane tier 1 turret. Remember that the plates fell down just 30 seconds ago, so these are much more vulnerable than they were, and with a little bit more time, Kumo should be able to take that one down. But toucouille might just beat him to it. Lots of damage under the mid lane tier 1. AblazeOlive Realm Warp. Nice flash over the Scout of the Week. And with Everfrost's lockdown, it's an easy 2v1 with Pridestalker showing up.
Beautiful flash there from Ablaze. Once he flashes the stun and lands the root, toucouille is in the dirt, and that earns them. Could possibly be set up for both neutral objectives here. 20 seconds on toucouille. They opt for the second Rift Herald instead of going to the bottom side of the map because they already had people in position on top side. But Licorice here in the 1v1 is going to have a visitor as well. Jose's on the way.
Kumo's ready to go. As soon as the Irelia jumps in on Mega Gnar instead of Mini Gnar, you gotta know that somebody else is hanging out looking to join the fight. Oh, the Spectral Maw just barely missing out. JoseDeodo goes for the slow there on the ulti, and it's enough to keep Licorice in place for Kumo to get the kill. FlyQuest strike back.
I think it's a really, really good response here because FlyQuest can also pick up the Dragon, and this is not Dragon number 1. This is Dragon number 2. So Golden Guardians invested off of the extra person advantage, the second Rift Herald. They had better get a lot out of this second Rift Herald. It only crashes into the turret. They don't even kill the turret. Honestly, that was Golden Guardians making a great pick on mid lane and then choosing to get second Rift Herald, giving up Dragon, giving up solo kill on the bottom side to Licorice, and giving up almost as much secondary turret damage in the aftermath anyways.
Right.
So better job by FlyQuest off of a mid lane death from them.
Really good start from Golden Guardians, but unfortunately the whole plan didn't pan out exactly as they had hoped. Kumo doing so much damage to that tier 2 in bottom lane, man, it's barely standing. Aphromoo gonna walk into the brush there, but he will not stop the recall in time. That's Olleh being able to go back home, shop up, and get ready to go. Let's take another look at how the play happened in bottom lane, where Kumo knew his jungler was on the way, and it's time to jump in.
Yeah, and this is, they know they can force this because of the Golden Guardians' choice. After they pick mid, they go through that control ward and pick up the Rift Herald. So they know they're on Rift Herald. Then the Rift Herald is taken. They're like, great, nobody's coming to save Licorice then. Everybody flash forward. Everybody use everything. We are going to get this kill. And then you can still get the rewards after the kill's been taken. So they still push down on that tower and pick up the Dragon, which is number 2 for them, Clay. And this is a gold lead as well as a Dragon lead. Really well done by FlyQuest. And again, this is another incredibly important game for the standings in the middle for this playoff seeding.
Well, let's see how well they can close it out, or if the Golden Guardians will be able to strike back. We are now firmly in the mid-game, which has been the weak point for Golden Guardians. We've been saying it all split, and I'm not going to stop until it changes. Golden Guardians' early games have been pretty consistently on point, but it's the mid-game where things start to fall apart. FlyQuest coming in looking for the kill onto Olleh, but they don't have the damage here just yet. Aphromoo is going to be tanking it up as Golden Guardians look to respond. Nice shutdown onto Johnsun. It's going to not just be 1, but make it 2. Kumo falls next. 3. JoseDeodo's on the run. Let's keep on counting them, baby. Double kill over to AblazeOlive. 3 dead on FlyQuest. And Golden Guardians find their fight.
Okay, Golden Guardians can get all these kills, but they need to start getting objectives. Mid tower has got to die now. AblazeOlive going to try and take care of business for them, get an objective to their names. And if they can split it with Lost Tier 2, that's actually quite good. Get the Jinx in on some of this money. Opens up the map as well for the split pushing later. Gnar and Ryze both have unleashed teleports ready to use. Here's another look. They go for the pick onto Olleh, Aphromoo combo into Jose's stun, but then they just don't have the extra resources there quite yet. So Olleh walks away, and then another huge stopwatch. And he draws so many spells up towards him as well. Jose has to then ult out. The Syndra stun went over towards him. So much value out of that stopwatch from Olleh. Sometimes when you get picked, you can actually still be the MVP frontline by absorbing so many abilities, so many cooldowns. And the rest of Golden Guardians, you know, stood by him and were able to defend and take down so much. I mean, Johnsun just got immediately flanked on there. AblazeOlive gave him the old combo and put that Zeri in the dirt.
Exactly. Olleh baiting everybody in, making sure FlyQuest is committed to a kill that they're not going to get, and Golden Guardians get the punish. And now, for the first time in a long time, Golden Guardians are the ones with the gold lead. No, it is not something huge. It's not something to take over the game with, but it's important because, as you already mentioned, the first couple of Drakes are in FlyQuest's pocket. Golden Guardians is going to have one of these big fights in open territory, and they need to be in a good position to fight back.
Thematically correct that the Golden Guardians have made all these good plays off of stopwatches, going golden and getting that gold lead back in their favor.
I was trying to figure out what Golden Guardians had to do with clocks.
Yeah. So I could see your
that was chicken
misdirection.
Yep.
The misdirection working out. Still though, they do have to deal with the dragon stacking from FlyQuest. They've got a minute to set up, so you've probably got another 15 seconds to finish up this secondary tower on outside. I really like this. They have plenty of time to recall now. You can reset and try and retake all of this vision leading up to the dragon through your jungle. Even though there are no wards yet, you have to assume that red side, since you've given it up to FlyQuest, could be warded. And so you'll see them group up and kind of cautiously retake position here. This is something whenever you overextend on one side of the map, you kind of make the assumption that your opponents have done the same. And of course, because it is setting up for Soul Point here, trying to rush out to early position is incredibly important. Kind of a late recall there from Ablaze, but he does have teleport, as we said, so he teleports back to secondary turret, and he'll be here for the push into the river.
Johnsun clears out those wards, but now Golden Guardians move in to retake the brush. The battle for vision begins as the Hallowed Mist comes out. Johnsun falling back now, wanting to keep himself in a safe enough spot. Aphromoo goes in. Olleh's your target. No stopwatch here this time, but it's Aphromoo who's gonna die first. That's not the engage they needed, and FlyQuest lose the first man of the fight. Do they want to keep going here? Olleh is very low. The remaining players of FlyQuest still have plenty of health to work with. toucouille's gonna back off, throw a couple of orbs as he does so, try to kite him out here, get some poke, equalize this as much as they can. JoseDeodo, he'll bring that Drake out. Is now trying to camp the brush itself, but it's too big and it doesn't fit. Now, what's Licorice gonna do? He's got the Gnar bar charged. That could be a big game changer if he can find a multi-ulti, but nope, it won't happen. And the soul stack is stopped. Golden Guardians get their first Drake of the game.
Yeah, you see the fear effect of a Mega Gnar. All you have to do is transform. You don't get actual fear in the game, but real fear in your opponents.
Not the status ailment, but like, you're afraid.
Exactly. The reaction, the fight or flight, the adrenaline is pumping. You know,
the answer was flight.
You have to, you have to give space there. The answer was flight, so they give it up. And very good denial here from Golden Guardians because of that kill. And now they're going to get a follow-up pick onto Kumo.
Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot of ways that Kumo gets out of here, maybe. Okay. Rune Prison, Everfrost, Super Mega Death Rocket, plenty of damage. AblazeOlive, 3-1-4, 100% kill participation.
Yeah, there's no way there's a counter rush on Baron either from FlyQuest because it's still pretty early into the game, and they get a pick.
Oh, Olleh going over the wall with the flash engage from the dredge line, and they force Johnsun to flash out to get to safety.
Definitely a big one here. Now that gold lead is 2,000, and since they cut off the dragon stacking for FlyQuest, Golden Guardians are retaking control of this game. You've now got super tanky Ryze. It's the 3-item power spike. The most annoying tank Ryze influence in the game is right now. This is a huge, huge power spike for Ablaze, especially because everybody except for Syndra greatly hindered in DPS with that frozen heart. So you got all these shields coming through, tons of armor. He also has exhaust. it's going to be very difficult for FlyQuest to take him down in that side lane, because you're going to have to send toucouille plus multiple members to try and keep him in place. Very, very valuable tool for splitting here for Golden Guardians, to go with either a 4-1, or since Licorice has Unleashed Teleport also on the Gnar and he has a stopwatch, they could also 1-3-1 to try and push all three. I'd be a bit scared, you know, with Irelia there, because Kumo also is a bit threatening, but definitely options are open for the Golden Guardians here. And they've got Control Ward on Baron, plus split into the 4-1 split push here. Invade on the red, though, is into some Fog of War, and Aphromoo thinks better of this engage.
And I like the fact that you're bringing up all these important points about AblazeOlive, and I want to tack one on there. He has currently swapped out his teleport for an exhaust with the Summoner Spellbook. So that means if there's any sort of desynchronization with FlyQuest jumping in and trying to make these fights happen, if Kumo jumps in alone, if Jose jumps in alone, the option to exhaust them, very good. Now, Aphromoo going to get jumped on. Olleh is going in for the engage, and there is no way out of that one. toucouille now trying to deal with AblazeOlive, but you just can't do it. The flash follow, and the Golden Guardians pick up 2 for free, going right back over to Baron.
Yeah, that's a beefy Ryze right there. I guess even the magic damage dealer can't handle it, Flowers. Golden Guardians are going to get the Baron, and FlyQuest have no possible response except to push on secondary turret. With 2 members down, you have to continually run from the threat of Golden Guardians. So they try and do a little drive-by here, get secondary turret in mid, and then they've got to get out of there.
This is opposite day for the Golden Guardians. A rough early game that translates into some mid-game successes, and all of a sudden they're running away with it. 4,000 gold lead, 25 minutes into the game, and they've got 2.5 minutes of Baron to make that even more.
And Baron is the dream scenario here for Ablaze now. This is super, super buff Ryze. Ablaze can definitely get out to that bottom lane to start split pushing. Here's another look at how they picked him off. Flowers, they don't make Alistar like they used to, okay?
Nope.
Truly, the damage reduction is not helping in these scenarios. Aphromoo is getting melted regardless of having that ultimate up.
His teamfight experience is truly unruly. There's no way for the poor cow to stay alive in the middle of everybody like that. It's like he doesn't even have an ulti at all. And now FlyQuest has to try to dig in and survive. The Golden Guardians onslaught is about to find its way to the tier 2 turrets. AblazeOlive set up here in the side lane. He knows anything less than 3 people, he can at least get away. JoseDeodo's hanging around nearby, but Ryze is not afraid of the mist when the guy in the mist is just a punching bag at this point. And now the mid lane dive is coming out. Pridestalker's going to lead the way. AblazeOlive has made his way into the fight now as well as Evercross finds the lockdown. It's going to be a kill on toucouille here at the start as Kumo is down to barely any HP. JoseDeodo tries to come around and cut the wave, but all he's going to find is a bunch of rockets in the face. It's still just 1 for nothing. Olleh is going to be taken low, but a nice CC, a nice lockdown, and another nice kill.
Is it an end angle?
I think it might just be the game. Kobe, we got a teleport coming out. AblazeOlive will be able to return with that one. There it is. JoseDeodo and Kumo versus the Golden Guardians. I'm taking the Golden Guardians in this one. And Raz, I think you're about to take a bite of a habanero pepper, because Golden Guardians turned this game around. They figured out the mid-game problems, and they earned their win against FlyQuest, 12-3.
You called it with the opposite day, Flowers. Golden Guardians with one of their quickest games of the split here. Ending this one out instantly off that Baron play.
Nicely done. FlyQuest was commanding a 1,500 gold lead or so for quite a while. They had those first 2 Drakes. Early game looked great for them. And then the moment that felt like it changed everything was Olleh saying, nah, I got stopwatch. And then that fight, that gave him the momentum. That gave him the ability back into the game. And when you have AblazeOlive performing like this on the Ryze with 100% kill participation, with this incredibly oppressive tanky Ryze build versus 3 auto attackers, and he's got Frozen Heart, Golden Guardians saw their path, and they walked it all the way to the Nexus.
Perfect timing. That is definitely a good rune. The ability to make a play like that, you know, has really big ripple effects, because people sometimes conceptualize it as like, okay, so I won't die one time is that really a big deal? But if it's a perfect death right before an objective or a team fight, that means the entire thing goes the other way because you're drawing all of these cooldowns out of your opponents, it can have a much bigger impact than just 300 gold of a death. Basically, it can be an entire team victory into objectives, stuff like that. So honestly, the biggest takeaway for me though is that they ended the game quickly.
Yes, that was so important. Making that push down mid lane, being able to go in, having the killer instinct, AblazeOlive, the realm warp from the Ryze. FlyQuest is looking at this saying, all right, we got to defend against these 4. Boom, tier 2 turret's already gone. He's warping into the fight. The dive comes out. They're all coordinated. They respond properly to Jose trying to cut the wave. Golden Guardian seems like they are hungry to fix these problems that have been plaguing them, and they are doing a good job with it. Now, we're going to join Licorice, and the man